Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, I'm out in the First Food Forest, and a couple of months ago I posted a video talking about how I needed to raise the level of the hoops that cover the blueberry patch back here. And I haven't gotten to that until yesterday afternoon, and it just got so darn hot I ended up quitting. We're in the midst of the beginning of a pretty significant heat wave and drought. There's been thunderstorms all around us and all, but we haven't gotten over, well, we got 1.51 inches of rain total in the last 7.5 weeks. And all around us, the thunderstorms have hit different places, but we haven't been fortunate enough to get any rain. So everything's been stunted a bit. I'm pretty happy with how the First Food Forest is doing, and I'll take another tour of the First Food Forest again in another video. But today I wanted to talk about how I'm actually raising the height of these hoops. So these are 10-foot long, half-inch electrical conduit that I bent, and I explained about that in the last video, and I'll put a link to that video in the upper right-hand corner. And they have been sunken in the ground here through the weed mats for several years, and have been down about between 6 and maybe even 10 inches deep in there. Then we use paracord to tie off along the top of them to secure them, stabilize them, and then we put the bird netting over it, which really helps to reduce deer browse, helps to keep some of the rabbits out of it, but really helps a lot with the birds. A deer got caught up in it this past winter and early spring, and ripped a lot of the bird netting, so we ended up discarding that, so I'm going to replace some new bird netting on it. But I also need, since some of the blueberry plants are getting taller and going above the height of the hoops that's currently there, I needed to raise the level. In the last video I talked about using some of our half-inch rebar, and right now I don't have enough extra, and it's a bit of a hassle to go and get that, so I scrounged around and I found some of my 3/8 inch some people would use these as driveway markers. We use them to help support plants when they're first starting out and all. Because we have such high winds and heavy snow, these help to support. So these are 3/8 of an inch by 4 foot long. And so what I'm doing is I'm pulling these hoops out of the ground, drilling out the dirt that's been impacted up into the core of each one of these electrical conduits, driving the stakes, one on each side, down just to the top of this little flange here, this little triangular piece, and that establishes this system. Then I went ahead and took some other conduit that I had, pieces, and I cut them all 14 inches long. So after this is driven in, the half-inch, 14-inch long piece of electrical conduit is slid onto this post, and then this hoop is placed over it as well, and that really raises up the level an awful lot. I did make some with 28-inch long small pieces of electric conduit. The system probably wouldn't work, but it's easy enough to walk in. I'm 6'2", and I can walk right down in there without bumping my head at all. So it could be a nice little quick, easy, high tunnel, I guess, instead of being so low, that you could work in during the winter months if you didn't have super high winds, or if you had an extra way of stabilizing it. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and replace some more of these, and I'll throw on my helmet cam so you can see part of the process as well. So here we go. Pull out any weeds along the way. Didn't get the root there, but okay. These are my 14-inch pieces. Get a nice rock there. That's good. So these are fairly stable. Once the paracord is used on top of them, I think it'll be much more stable. These are the times I wish I had mulch, more mulch back here instead of this weed mat. A good hay mulch or straw mulch or wood chips. Wood chips and cardboard do such a great job of suppressing the weeds and maintaining moisture in the ground for whatever plants, but especially for these blueberries. Well, just got that finished. Got all of the new stakes in, the short pieces, the 14-inch pieces of the electrical conduit over the stakes, and then reinserted the hoops after drilling out any compacted soil up in the center of the electrical conduit. So I think that'll work pretty well. I then went ahead, I had to put some more weed mat around my anchoring post at the west end of this bed. And the paracord that we used before is too short now that the hoops have been raised up, so I got some new paracord. And when I wrap that, I just make sure that I go back and re-tension the paracord. But I wrap it and just do one loop over about the center of each one of the hoops. And that helps to keep any materials that we're putting on top of it from sagging, and it also helps to maintain the hoops from deviating with the wind out of the west going to the east or west. This system seemed to work very well with a little bit lower hoops over the last few years, and hopefully it'll work, give me a couple of years here before we can get the new site ready for the blueberry patch and all. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up, and I will make sure that I link the how to grow blueberry bushes in the upper right hand corner as well. And I will put a link to the paracord that I use. It's really strong, really durable, UV resistant. It's the same paracord that's used for parachutes, really super strong as well. I'll put a link in that in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.